Hey friends, I've got something absolutely mind-blowing to share today. If I asked you, who makes the oxygen we breathe, you'd probably say trees, right? Yeah, the Amazon rainforest, the lungs of the earth. That's what we've all been taught since we were kids. Trees are the heroes, sucking in carbon, pumping out oxygen, keeping us alive. Especially the Amazon, which everyone calls the lungs of the world. But hold on a second. What if I told you that trees only produce 28% of the world's oxygen? Would you believe me? Are you shocked yet? According to scientists, all the trees on land, including the Amazon, make just 28% of the oxygen on Earth. So, what about the rest? Where does the oxygen we breathe every day come from? If it's not all from trees, then why have we been misunderstanding this for so long? Let's find out together. All right, friends, we just found out that trees only make 28% of the world's oxygen. So where does the other 70% come from? The answer might make your jaw drop. It comes from the ocean. Yep, that big blue ocean we see out there. But wait, I'm not saying the water itself makes oxygen. It's actually these tiny little creatures in the water called phytoplankton. These guys are so small you can barely see them with the naked eye, but there are billions of them in the ocean, and they do the same job as trees: photosynthesis. They take in carbon and release oxygen. Scientists at NASA say phytoplankton produce 70% of the world's oxygen. That's almost 3 times more than trees. Imagine this. If trees are like the little brother helping us out, phytoplankton are the big brother carrying the whole team. What about the remaining 2 to 10%? That comes from algae, aquatic plants, and other land plants like the grass in your backyard. But phytoplankton are the real MVPs here. Next episode, we'll dig into the Amazon. Since we thought it was the lungs of the earth, how much does it really help us? Let's talk about the Amazon now. We've all heard it before. The Amazon is the lungs of the earth. We've been hearing that since elementary school, right? But I'm sorry to break it to you, it's not true. According to the latest research from scientists at BBC and Nature, the Amazon only produces 6 to 9% of the world's oxygen. Yep, you heard that right, just 6 to 9%. Why so little? Well, it turns out the Amazon uses a lot of carbon for its own growth too. Trees in the forest don't just release oxygen, they also breathe, taking oxygen back in. And if there are wildfires or deforestation, the oxygen we get from the forest drops even more. So why do people call it the lungs of the earth? It's more of a metaphor, really. The Amazon is massive, covering several countries in South America, and it does absorb a ton of carbon dioxide. But when it comes to oxygen, the ocean totally steals the show. So, if the ocean is this important, what happens if something goes wrong with it? What happens to our oxygen then? Let's find out. Friends, we now know the ocean is the main source of oxygen on Earth, thanks to phytoplankton producing 70% of it. But what if the ocean has problems? What would happen then? Picture this. If phytoplankton start dying off in large numbers because the ocean gets too warm from global warming, or because of pollution like plastic waste, the oxygen we breathe every day would decrease. Scientists say if phytoplankton populations drop by 10%, the oxygen in our air would drop too. And if they die off even more, would we all just stop breathing? Luckily, it's not that bad yet, but if we don't take care of our oceans, our oxygen supply could really be at risk in the future. So why do phytoplankton die when the water heats up? Well, these little guys are super sensitive. Even a small change in temperature or dirty water can kill them off. And to make things worse, the ocean is becoming more acidic because of carbon dioxide in the air dissolving into the water, which makes it even harder for phytoplankton to survive. In the next episode, we'll figure out what we can do to help keep our oxygen supply safe. We've made it to the final episode, friends. Now that we know how crucial the ocean is for our oxygen, what can we do to help? Let's start with something simple. Reduce plastic use. Plastic waste in the ocean is a huge killer of phytoplankton. Imagine this. The plastic we throw away ends up in the sea, and it kills off phytoplankton, which means less oxygen for us. Small changes like using reusable bags or bringing your own water bottle instead of single-use plastics can make a big difference. Another thing we can do is help fight global warming. Think about it. If we use electric cars or ride bikes more, we can cut down on carbon dioxide, which keeps the ocean from getting too warm, helping phytoplankton survive longer. What about planting trees? Even though they only make 28% of our oxygen, they're still important because they absorb a lot of carbon dioxide, which helps reduce global warming indirectly. So, the bottom line is, if we want to keep our oxygen supply full, we need to take care of both the ocean and the trees. Next time, we'll dive into another exciting topic, so stay tuned. If you love this series, don't forget to share it with your friends.